Hello and welcome to A Kinda Crafty Kenzie. I am Kenzie, and today I have some fun spring and summer outdoor porch decor for y'all, so let's go. For this first DIY today, I am going to use this adorable little wooden house shape that I actually found at my local Family Dollar. Now, my Family Dollar is like literally 5 minutes from my house, but I don't frequent it that often because there's really nothing there like in the crafting world that I really care for. Some of their decor pieces are okay, and I've worked with some of those to like DIY those. But lately, like over the past month or so, they have really stepped up their game by putting out little wood pieces like this. There's all kinds of different ones. I'm going to have to put them in a story on my Instagram for you guys. But there's a house shape, there's flowers, there's fences, there's all kinds of stuff, guys. And it's almost like a little bit better quality than Dollar General. And as you can see from the back, this is only $1. And it has a nice rope hanger on it, which I did end up removing. I wasn't sure if I was going to keep it or not. That's why I left it on there and tried to paint around it. But I did end up removing it for what I'm using this for. But definitely make sure y'all check out your Family Dollar. And like I said, all these little wood pieces are $1. But I know that Dollar Tree, Dollar General, Family Dollar are all owned by the same corporation. But I'm so excited to see them put in some pieces like this into their stores. So yeah, make sure you check them out. I'm not sponsored, of course, but I just want to let you guys know. Just a little friendly tip. You guys, I also finally listened to everybody and got myself a finger sander off of Amazon. It escapes me who makes this. I can't believe I'm drawing a blank right now. But yeah, I cannot remember who makes this, but it comes with 3 different grit sandpapers. And I will have that link below for you guys so you can see who makes it and where it comes. I mean, like, it comes from Amazon, but you know what I mean. So you can get one too if you like. It's so nice to work with too. I really love it. Then this Distress Oxide, I just got this from Hobby Lobby a long time ago, and I forgot about it. But I have been packing up things to take out to my she shed, aka my crafting shed. So my crafting situation is like in 2 different places right now, and it's a mess. But I came across this and I was like, oh, I forgot all about this. So I really want to use it. So as you can see, I simply painted my little house with some white chalk paint. Then I went over it with my finger sander really heavy on the edges, and then over the face of the little sign as well. Then I just used some of this Distress Oxide and kind of emphasized where I had distressed it around the edges, and then there on those little natural indentations of the little wood piece. And then I came back in with my sander a little bit more just to kind of lighten up that a little bit. And then I did come back in again with a little bit more chalk paint to lighten it up even more, just to make it look more distressed and not so much like prominent. You know what I mean. Now, this little welcome word came from Hobby Lobby, and I was ambushed again by Saint. He just cannot handle when I'm crafting. He's like, I don't understand why I can't be on your lap. So he's always jumping on my table, and I really and he's back. And I really am going to miss him just like jumping up in my projects when I'm out in my shed. And I think he'll miss me too, because he's always like right there with me, trying to get in my chair with me or up on my table with me. But anyways, you guys, I went ahead and painted this little welcome with some truffle chalk paint. And then I went over it really lightly with some plaster chalk paint, because I did not want to sand that little piece because they're very fragile and they would break super easy. So after I had that all distressed to my liking, I just went ahead and hot glued it down on this little house. Now I'm going to take this old wreath form that I had actually used from Christmas for many years. And my husband actually ripped off all of the Christmas garland, like the pine garland and stuff for me, and Saint's back. I'm telling you guys, I usually edit him out, but I thought I would leave him in there. Plus, he was pretty much up there the whole time I was working on this. So I used this really old wreath form, but obviously you can get some at the Dollar Tree. I just did not have any on hand, and I wanted to make a wreath. So then I took some of this burlap that my aunt had given me. I don't know where she got it from. As you can see, Saint is really enjoying it though. But it is like that really nice, like natural burlap. And she didn't have a ton that she had given me, and I used every stitch of it to finish this wreath. All I'm going to do is just kind of wrap it around the wreath form. I did hot glue it here and there just to kind of brace it, give it some stability, keep it attached, etc. And that's all I did here, you guys, was just wrap this burlap around this form so that when I wrap that garland from the Dollar Tree around it, you weren't going to see that ugly wire, because we all know how spruce Dollar Tree's garland can be, you guys.
So try not to hold me down, feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars, I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down, feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars, I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me.
So after I finally got all the burlap attached to my wreath form the way that I liked it, it did take me 5 strands of this eucalyptus garland that I got from the Dollar Tree. How I would simply attach it was, as you can see, the one end has like that little loop, and I would just tie it with some twine on the back side of the wreath, cut off any of the extra, and then just go ahead and wrap. I did hot glue it here and there just to kind of keep it flush with the wreath so it wasn't like sticking out. But this was a little bit of a headache, y'all, because so many of the leaf, like the little leaf pieces, like the little stems, they come off. I tried to go back in and attach them where I could find like the little empty stem that needed its leaves back. Leaves back. That's not proper English. Leaves back. But it was just so in all, this wreath costs like $6 to make if you add in the 5 eucalyptus garlands that I used and then the $1 house form. But you could probably find way better garland elsewhere. But this is what I had on hand, and I am literally trying to craft my stash. I've had this garland for quite a while now, and like I said, I'm moving out into my shed, so I'm coming across things that I've forgotten that I had. So I'm just trying to, use stuff up. So now that I have all of the garland on there, it's still, it's kind of empty, obviously. But that's okay, because we're going to fix that. So now I'm going to just attach my little house onto this, and I took like the most empty space I could find, just kind of move the leaves out of the way and glue the little house down. Like I said, I did remove that brown twine that was attached to it. Now I'm just going to take some natural tone looking solo wood flowers, which their website is linked in my description box, you guys, and I just went ahead and hot glued those down around the wreath. I didn't measure them. I just eyeballed them. I don't measure here. That's not what we do here. So then I just took some of those little leaves that had fallen off of the garland and attached them to the little house and added in a little flower. And I think for a pretty cheap wreath, mostly Dollar Tree or dollar store products, this turned out pretty cute, and I'm really excited to hang it on my porch. And you guys will have to let me know what you think of it in the description box below, because I always love to hear what y'all think. If you are new to my channel today, I just want to take a second and say welcome. My name is Mackenzie, aka Kenzie. I am a stay-at-home mom to 3 little girls, and I am from a very small rural town in Pennsylvania. I am obsessed with anything to do with home decor, so I love to DIY, repurpose, turn trash to treasure, craft, upcycle, recycle, and of course a thrift flip. So if you love stuff like that, you are gonna love it here. I can also be found over on Instagram and on Facebook, all under Kinda Krafty Kenzie, and all of those links are in my description box of this video and in my bio. Now let's craft some more. For my next DIY, I am just going to use this piece of wood that my husband had given me. You guys know that we work with wood all the time. We always have scraps left over. And with my shed going in and my husband finishing the inside of it and everything, There is so much leftover lawn and so much leftover wood pieces that I am so excited to craft with all of that stuff. I can't tell you the last time I've been to Dollar Tree, but that's okay because like I said, I have so much to work with already here on hand. So I just took this piece of wood and I don't know the measurements, y'all. I just grab and use. That's just how I roll. But I did paint it with some white chalk paint, and then I did go ahead and distress it with some of the elephant gray chalk paint. Now I'm using my Cricut, and I just cut out the words "Love grows here," in case you couldn't read that. And then I did measure to try to keep it as even and straight as possible. And I just went ahead and attached those letters down onto my board. And then I did go over top of the letters a little bit, over top of the vinyl with some of the white chalk paint, just because I don't like them to be like a vibrant, shiny vinyl. I want them to look nice and distressed, you know what I mean? Like your sign can't be distressed and then your words pop off black like that. Like that's, no. So that's all I do here, and I really love this technique. I do it on a lot of my stuff, especially when I work with vinyl. I definitely wanted this to be like a gardening type sign, you know, with the love grows here. So I knew that I wanted to incorporate some little gardening tools and a little watering can. So Jared actually cut these out for me. And as you can see, when he sent it back into me, he had wrote, "I love you" on the little watering can. How cute is that, you guys? I literally just printed out these images off of Google, cut them out, and then he went ahead and cut those out for me of like this old, it's like a lawn type, material, and the one side has like a marble backing. I think I found this in my pap's old woodshed, and we've just been kind of using it here and there. We've refinished an armoire hutch type thing that Jared had built for our dining room, and we use that on the inside, so we just have a bunch of scrap pieces left. So anyways, you guys can actually get these at Dollar Tree. You can get these little gardening style tools. It's a sign that they had. I'm sure a lot of you have seen it. I just knew that Jared could cut these out easily for me, and like I said, I'm just trying to craft what I already have instead of always going out and buying new things. You know, like just use what you have if you can. And I have a very handy husband who helps me a lot, so that does help. Anyways, you guys, as you can see, I just painted the little gardening tools with some elephant gray chalk paint, and then I used my little distressing method to make my stuff look super rusty and old. With the elephant gray, some white, and some burnt umber, I just go back and forth in between the three colors, and I use my heat gun in between, that way the paints don't blend together. Now for the watering can, I went ahead and painted it white, and then I did try to go with like the Nimbus light gray chalk paint on the spout of the can, and I didn't like that at all. So I just kind of covered that up with the burnt umber and then came in with some of the white because I just wasn't loving the entire spout looking like that. I decided that I only wanted it to be more prominent on the edges and like the top of the spout where water would come out, or like where it would run down and lay and make it more rusty. Then I just went around the rest of the edges of the can, and if it got too heavy, like with the burnt umber look, then I just came back in with some of the white. It was no big deal. I just like went back and forth until I was like happy with the way it looked. But these, like I said, I printed these off of Google. It was super easy to make, but you can find these on or at Dollar Tree. For the handles on my little gardening tools, I decided to just go ahead and paint those black. I didn't distress those or anything because most of the time they're like a rubber, and I really didn't know how they would look distressed, so I did just leave them fully black. And honestly, I don't think I would have changed it. If I could go back, I don't think I would have changed it. But let me know what y'all think. Then Jared went ahead and did drill some holes for me. He put them, like, as you can see, kind of like on the complete back of the sign. And then like on the bottom of the sign, as you can see how I'm tying these tools on there. That way they're going to kind of swing maybe in the breeze a little bit, because these are going to hang on our back porch. And I thought that would be really cute, just like hanging like this versus like glued down to the sign. So I was really excited about this, but it was just so easy to attach these with some jute twine, and then I just hot glued like the little knot that I had left over into that little hole so that it like hung nice and neat and you didn't see that knot dangling. But I really love the way this turned out, you guys, and it was virtually free. So you guys will have to let me know what you think about this in the comments below. If you guys have been here for a little while, you know that I have recently traveled to Pittsburgh, PA, which is about 2 hours north of where I live here in PA, to have my 3-month screening done for my acute myeloid leukemia. I was diagnosed in July of 2018, and I am happy to report that my screening came back squeaky clean. They counted 1 million of my cells. God bless the person with that job. And I am still cancer-free. No mutations of leukemia or any other genetic disorder was detected. So I am so relieved, thankful, happy, all of the above. It is a very, very difficult thing for me to get in the car and travel to Pittsburgh and go into the hospital and then wait about 24 to 48 hours for any test results to come back, and then wait up to 2 weeks for any other mutation results to come back. So I usually wait a little while before I do any kind of announcing, but no leukemia, no other genetic disorders. My cells are still good to go. I'm just elated. So we are working on year 3 of remission at this point. December 31st, 2018 was my last round of chemo, and I'm just ecstatic, you guys. Physically, I'm great, but traveling to Pittsburgh takes a mental toll on me because I spent the better part of a year of my life in the hospital, and it triggers so many emotions in me. I've been diagnosed with PTSD due to the trauma of cancer, and I have severe depression and anxiety that I battle because of it. I'm not ashamed of any of this. I just don't tend to talk about any of this because this is a DIY channel, not a vlog channel, so I just don't go there. But I just wanted to let you guys know because you all were so supportive and you all were so sweet reaching out to me and just asking if I was okay, because I've been absent for a little while from YouTube and my other social media platforms. And guys, that's mostly because, one, I've been busy with some things here at home, with my craft shed coming in and trying to get it ready, and the girls ending school and then trying to get them transitioned over to their next year of homeschool. And then it does take a mental toll on me to go to Pittsburgh, to come back to this hospital, and then even some time usually up to a month after I go, I kind of go into a weird funk, and then I have to find my way back out. But I'm doctoring for it. We're trying to work through it. It's just something that I've dealt with since I was completely ruled clean back in March of 2019. So it's just been difficult. But if y'all ever have any questions, I'm not afraid to talk about it. I'm not ashamed to talk about it. I can answer any questions. I know some of you guys out there that are subscribed to me also battle different forms of cancer or have family members with cancer. It's crazy to look at someone walking down the street. You don't know their story by looking at them. You would never look at me and think that I have acute myeloid leukemia, one of the most aggressive forms of cancer, let alone the most aggressive form of blood cancer. And then I am, like I said, almost a 3-year survivor. But I like that. I like that I can hide it because I don't want the attention. I don't like that. I don't like to be known as the person with cancer. So anyways, you guys, I just wanted to show you a little bit of my journey. So I just filmed some of the outside of the hospital, and then I didn't film any of the inside of the hospital for privacy purposes. I didn't want to accidentally get somebody's face or being the weirdo filming inside the hospital. I have before, but I just didn't do it today. I used to have a leukemia vlog channel, but I just couldn't spend all the time talking about leukemia. So I stopped that. And that's how I found crafting, you guys. It's been a place for me to think about something else, to do something else, to direct my attention, to something else. Keep my mind busy, keep it off of that overwhelming fear of leukemia could come back. It's a very scary thought. It's very hard being a survivor of cancer when you have that dark cloud of relapse always lurking over you. It's very hard to move past that. But I did want to share with you guys this part of the hospital right here. If you look the second row of windows down from the roof, that is the blood cancer floor. And that is where I spent a long, long time. So I always say a little prayer for everybody up there still fighting, all of my fellow blood cancer warriors. And this is a bell that they hang for us in their office in the hospital where I go for my appointments. So I just want to share that with you guys too. Okay, back to the DIYs, you guys. So this piece is just something that my husband kind of put together for me. He surprised me with it. It was like, here, make something. So then I'm like, okay. So all he did was take some blocks of wood, as you can see, and then just like this yardstick style thingy, um, where I'm making a yardstick. So he just attached it to like this yardstick that he made out of wood as well, and he just simply screwed it all together, and then I just painted it. That's kind of how we roll. He builds, I paint. You know, like it's a good team. So I painted the stake part with my truffle chalk paint, and then I went ahead and painted the blocks, which is going to be the sign part. And I don't know if you guys can tell, I totally put sign in quotes with my fingers when I just said that, so just letting you know. I painted that with white because I wanted it to pop, and I tend to go towards whites, blacks, browns, grays when I do farmhouse rustic pieces. So I try to always make like my background white, so then the darks kind of pop off of that, just in case you were wondering. A little information. Anyways, that's all I did here, y'all, so.
Be someone else. No one's stopping me now. I'm gonna skip my breaks. I'm gonna make mistakes. I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm
So Jared had kind of already predetermined that this should stay home, so that's why there were 4 blocks. So I just went ahead and took some of these stencils that I have and just taped them down to the blocks like the sign. I wanted it to be pretty even, so I did go ahead and measure a little bit just to make sure they weren't like lopsided or anything. But I'll be really honest with you, I measured the H and then the O and the E, oh my gosh, the M and the E, I totally eyeballed. But, so anyways, I just came in with some of that truffle brown, and then I just did the little splot method, I make up words here, the little, you know what I mean, the stenciling, the blot method, there we go. And I just wrote out the H, the M, and the E. And then for the O, my daughter actually had the bright idea that I should do a windmill. So luckily I have this pack of stencils that I got from Walmart, and it's made by Plaid. It's a really awesome pack. It's about $20, I think, and there's so many stencils in it. Really big ones, as you can see how big this windmill is, but I just decided to use like the top of it and use that for the O. So I thought this was really cool, and it was her idea. So shout out to my oldest Whitley for that. Thank you. She was right beside me while I was making this, and that was totally her idea, so I gotta give her credit. And so as you can see, I just went through with the elephant gray and just splotted it. That's my new word, splotted. I splotted it. And I love the way it looked. So then I came back in with a little bit of white chalk paint. Again, just kind of distress those letters so they don't look so vibrant and new. Went over them, as you can see, just a little bit to give them that nice worn look. And then I went around the edges of the white with some of that truffle brown and just kind of distressed that so that it looked rustic as well. I did not want to sand this because it is unfinished wood, and the paint is going to protect it because this is an outdoor piece. So that is why I did not sand it, to let that natural wood come back through. That's why I painted the distressing instead of sanding. So just to let you know that before you ask me. So now you know.
just wanna feel alive.
Make sure you let me know down in the comments which one was your favorite. And I'm going to give you guys one last look at all these DIYs with my final reveal.
Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna drive a faster car. Nothing can break me. No, no, nothing can break me. Try not to hold me down. Feel alive when I'm in this town. Look at those beautiful stars. I wanna take a trip to Mars. Nothing can break me. No, no, nothing can break me.
Thank you guys so much for coming along with me today while I created some outdoor decor pieces. I had so much fun making these, and I cannot wait to make some more. If you like videos like this and want to see me make more, pieces for outside, go ahead and give this video a big thumbs up. It will also help my channel grow, and I appreciate it so much. If you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button before you go today and turn your bell on. And I will see y'all really soon in some more DIYs. Bye, guys.
I just wanna feel alive. It's just what I do when I'm out, so try not to hold me down. Feel alive